Hello everyone, welcome back to Sharmila's tutelage, and thank you so much for liking my video so much. I'm getting overwhelming responses from all the fellow teachers that I know and my colleagues and from people across. Thank you so much for your love. Today I'm going to start with a very interesting topic that pre-primary and primary teachers would love. I'm going to talk about the art of storytelling. This is one of the best and one of the light teaching methodologies across the pre-primary and primary segment, and storytelling can be used as a part of your lesson as a daily practice, or it can also be staged as an individual event or a strong event. In today's video, I'm going to talk about using storytelling as a separate event, how to prepare for a bigger event, and how to utilize the best of the storytelling method or the activities of storytelling. So now storytelling has three parts: the pre, the during, and the post. In this video, I'm going to talk about the pre, how to prepare for a storytelling session. And in a simple way, I'm going to give you 10 points. If you prepare with these 10 points, you are done preparing for a storytelling session. So, if I talk about why storytelling is important, storytelling is something that addresses a lot of teaching styles and a lot of learning styles and a lot of intelligence styles. There are three learning styles, as we are aware: auditory, kinesthetic, and visual, and there are 8 multiple intelligences to talk about. Storytelling is a method that can reach all the learning styles and all the intelligence styles simultaneously in one go. So if you are planning to do a storytelling session with your class or with your learners as a combined effort with all the teachers together, or if you are doing it for all the classes together, this method can help you long way. Storytelling is a method that has been it's been loved by the teachers since ages, because the way a learner connects with storytelling, the way a learner engages with the storytelling is even more engaging than any other style of storytelling or any other method of saying something. So let's begin with the pre of the storytelling. The first point is about deciding what do you want out of a storytelling. Simply decide what is the objective that you are going to achieve using storytelling as a method, or decide what are the learning outcomes. What do you want the learners to know? What do you want your learners to learn out of a storytelling? Before anything else, this is the first point that you need to work on, is finding what is your objective, what are the learning outcomes that you want your learners to know after a storytelling session. The second point is selecting an age appropriate story. Identify a story that you think will best match the learning outcomes, best match the objective that you have in mind, and then find out a story, decide upon a story. Third point says that kindly avoid any kind of fairy tales, any kind of magic wand or any boon or any kind of magic lamp coming into life and granting all the wish. You can make animals speak, birds, trees speak, human characters to be included. Why am I suggesting you to do that? Is that if you make animals, trees, birds speak, it will make learners more empathetic towards the nature. It will help a learner understand that, oh, I just saw a cat in a story, or I just saw a dog in a story and it was talking. So it keeps in a real life, it makes a learner engage or understand their emotions also better, and to understand that world is not about humans only. The world is also for the cats and for the animals that we see around. The fourth point is about procuring materials and props. It's an inevitable part of storytelling. You cannot have a storytelling session at the beginning without any props. There are storytellers who do it with their voice modulation and total body response, total whole body response, TPR, and then voice modulation, hand gestures. There are storytellers using that, but I would not suggest to do that in a classroom setup in front of the children, in a school setup, because in school setup it is extremely important to have concrete objects in your hand. You can use story cards, picture cards, posters, cutouts, stick puppets, hand puppets, real objects, or anything that you believe can aid or support your storytelling flow. Before the storytelling day, you're ready with all the props and they are put in a sequential order of your requirements. So if you have prepared the props, if you have prepared your materials, if your cutouts are ready, your hand puppets are ready, everything is ready, keep it in a sequential order. Whenever you need, you can grab them so that there is no unnecessary gap during your storytelling. Fifth point, deciding upon your clothing is, however, not very important, but I would still suggest you to do that because I have seen it going very well with the storytelling session and it is captivating too. So what I mean is that, so you're going to talk about a forest or a story wherein you have a lot of animals and it's forest setup, a jungle setup, wherein you can opt for wearing something in green, any shade of green. Say you're talking about sea or river, anything like that, you can prefer to wear something bluish. Or you're talking about protagonist is the sun, so you can consider wearing yellow or any shade of orange. And say if you are going to talk about story of a particular animal, this is a story of an elephant, black or gray, you're going to talk about the tiger, anything in the shade of yellow or anything that matches with the pattern. This is not very important, I say, but again it can add to your effectiveness of the storytelling. Sixth, decide upon a script. It might not seem very important, but I will still suggest that story is very simple. For a pre-primary, story will be very simple. For primary also the story will be very simple, but I will still suggest you, if it's a group activity or if it's a solo activity, write down scripts engaging each element. Write down the story in a way that, or the script in a way that you know when to talk, what to say, how to say. This will help you or your team to prepare better for the day. And also, while you write down your script, please decide in your mind that how will you say a certain line, what would be the voice modulation, what will be your body movement, who will say, if you have a team, who will say this dialogue, which way he or she will be delivering the dialogue. Everything should be accounted for, everything should be written down. Seventh point, make it time bound. Once you decide upon a story, the outcome and everything, you will understand that each part would require some time, a lot time to each element. While you are talking about rain, for how long will you be talking about the rain? If you're including anything, a certain event is happening during your storytelling session wherein an elephant walks into the scene or the tiger ramps out of the scene, how long will you be talking about that? Make it time bound, and the total story should be time bound. It's a 30 minutes activity decided, it should be a 30 minutes activity only, should not go beyond, because we will also have to keep the attention span of the learners in mind. The eighth point talks about keeping cognitive triggers or questions ready. Since you have identified the learning outcomes, you know what is your objective, you have written down the script, you have a well aligned story, now you have questions listed down. You have questions for each aspect of the storytelling session. Wherever you have spoken something, you can do two things. You can stop the story midway to check for understanding, or you can keep those questions ready once the story is done. Once you have shared the moral of the story, then you can keep on asking these cognitive triggers or questions to check for understanding and how much they have engaged with the session. The ninth point talks about keeping a support team ready. Whenever you need help, have a support team to keep you or help you with any of the prop supply or any of the background sound or anything. So it's a collaborative effort. If you are narrating, have one or two person at the background helping you with any of the props or helping you with any of the cues if you think you might forget. And the 10th, the last point, is about including a rhyme or a song in your story. It is not important again, but if you do it, it will take your story to an exponentially high level. Since you have decided upon the learning outcomes, since you have well aligned story in mind, now you can also find out 2 or 3 songs that you can include, or 2 or 3 total body response rhymes in mind, wherein you can engage the learners. So you can, if the protagonist is a tiger or an elephant, you can sing a rhyme or a song about an elephant midway, or you can talk about a tiger and sing about the tiger midway. So it will help the musically intelligent learners to connect well with the storytelling session. I'm suggesting for a song or a rhyme so that you address to each of the learning styles and each of the intelligence styles while you are narrating the story. That's all from my end today. The pre-part of storytelling session is done. In the next video, I will be talking about during the storytelling session, what all things we need to keep in mind while we are narrating a story. And in the next video, again another video, I'll be talking about what needs to be done after the storytelling session. Thank you so much for being here and listening to me. Please like the channel, like the video, subscribe to my channel, and keep coming back. Thank you so much for your response. Take care. Bye-bye.